Hi students, a very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Anurag Agarwal and this is OSN Academy of English since 1998. The examination is over and all India students who are new to this field or who are planning to go for the 2024 examination, they may get a great opportunity to join the bilingual classes, means Hindi English mix. And now today I am going to teach you this session, a very important session in pure English. There was a request from the South India students from the Calcutta, Bengal and even from Delhi NCR and even Kashmir that many of you students want to join the pure English batch. From the last so many months, at the YouTube channel, I have been teaching in the bilingual mode because 90% of the students who are of the Hindi belt, they join my bilingual classes. But not to worry, as I have always been teaching past 25 years only pure English batch. So today, this session is dedicated for all over India students for the UGC NET, the UPSC optional and all the literature examinations. Why? Because history of English literature is actually the mother. It is actually the mother which produces the entire world of literature. It is very necessary to understand, to excel in the field of literature, it is important to have the basics and to have a command over the history of English literature. Maybe UPSC, it is very important that the UPSC students have to blend their answers with the history part with their syllabus. For the UGC NET, the understanding of the history is very important. Though our syllabus is designed in the form of units, but always remember that history remains the utmost and the prior importance. And in my journey of 25 years, I have seen this thing, that my students, they excel because their history part is very good. So today, let us start before understanding the concepts of the details of the units, which I will be teaching in my lectures in my application OSN Academy. There are two batches live. One is the bilingual batch live running at 5 p.m. and one is the pure English batch live. And I have also the two batches recorded. Recorded means those students who cannot come live, they can take the entire batch in the recorded form for 1 year validity and even the study materials packet. And I'm very glad, I'm very happy also that the students have done marvelously and they have excelled in the last examination. When the results will come out, it will obviously be very clear that what they have done. My crash course book has also been exemplary in making my students excel in understanding the objective questions. So whether it is TGT, PGT, GIC, LT, D, SSB, NET, IS, today I am going to teach you the history of English literature, how I teach, how you have to understand. You can understand it well, you can compare it that yes, if I have to be a part of OSN Academy, if I have to be a student of Dr. Agarwal, how sir is teaching, whether I am able to understand it well or not, how he has been able to clear my concepts, whether you have been a part of any institute, any place where you could understand the history part so well. So these are the questions which you will be solving once I complete this session. So let us start the history part. You must have a copy, pen and paper to understand it better and to write it. First of all, students, if I talk about the history of English literature, the first and the foremost point which I would like to discuss here is whether I will discuss in short Old English literature. Now, point wise I am going to discuss. Students, the Old English language, or you may say the Anglo-Saxon. Understand, very simple, I am going to make you understand. The Old English language or Anglo-Saxon, it is the earliest form of English. ये क्या है? It is the earliest form of English. And this period is actually a long one, and it is generally considered that Old English, ऐसा कहा जाता है that this Old English was spoken from about 600 AD. AD 600. कब से कब तक? To about 1100. Fine. Many of the poems of the period are pagan. कैसी हैं? Many of the poems of this period are pagan. In particular, if somebody is going to ask you which poems, I am very much sure many of you students might not be knowing. But today, my style of teaching, my concepts to make you understand according to the different examinations are actually different. That is why you will excel. So, कौन सी poem है? Widsith. 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 And the second is Beowulf. Beowulf. So, अगर कोई आपसे पूछे कि many of the poems of the period which are pagan, name any of the two, immediately you can name Widsith and Beowulf. Now, the greatest English poem, Beowulf, is the first English epic. ये क्या है बच्चों? It is the first English EPIC. It is the first English epic. And the author of Beowulf is anonymous. मैं ए लिख देता हूँ. Anonymous means nobody is knowing. And sometimes even in the interview it is asked that please tell me what is the story of Beowulf. Many a times I have seen as a professor that students are unable to tell the right story and the right format. So it is the story of a brave young man. And the name of that brave young man was Beowulf. And this poem is in 3182 lines. 3182 lines. And in this epic, Beowulf sails to Denmark. Beowulf sails to Denmark. यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ मैं sails. Beowulf sails to Denmark with a band of warriors. And why he sails to Denmark with a band of warriors? Basically to save the king of Denmark. And the name of the king of Denmark was Hrothgar. Hrothgar. He was the king of Denmark. इसको बचाने के लिए they went with a band of warriors. Fine. Now, Beowulf saves the Danish king Hrothgar. Beowulf, he saves this person from a terrible monster. And the name of that monster was Grendel. Grendel. He saves this man from the great monster Grendel. And the mother of Grendel, who sought vengeance for the death of her son, was also killed by Beowulf. जो मदर ने दुश्मनी लेना चाहा क्योंकि उसके बेटे को मार दिया, he was also killed by Beowulf. So what happened? Beowulf was rewarded and became the king. वो ultimately became the king. And after a prosperous reign मतलब राज्य, of approximately 40 years, Beowulf slays a dragon, but उस लड़ाई में, while fighting, he himself receives a mortal wound. बहुत गहरी चोट पहुंच जाती है उस लड़ाई करते समय, and eventually dies. So what happens? This poem, Beowulf, concludes with the funeral rites and the ceremonies in honor of that dead hero. Though the poem Beowulf is little interesting, to whom? To the contemporary readers, to the contemporary world, it is a very important poem in the Old English period. यद्यपि कि ये poem today's world में, contemporary world में, it feels less interesting, but it is a very important poem in the Old English period because it gives an interesting picture of the life, of the practices of the old days. उस ज़माने की यादें दिलाती हैं, and that is why, because this poem has been given the vivid picturization. It gives a vivid picturization of the traditions, of the things which have been. You can see the graphical presentation here, and though it might not be visible too much, but this has a greater understanding. Kingdom of Wessex, House of Wessex, though, my dear students, it is not very much required for knowledge for the examination point of view, but in case you want to have the depth knowledge, you can follow this thing. So my dear students, ये जो interesting picture है ना, जिसके वजह से old days की, it becomes very good. Now, the difficulty encountered in reading the Old English literature lies in the fact that the language is very different from that of today. For example, you read Chaucer, you read William Langland, you और पीछे और चले जाइए तो you will find the spellings, it is not that much readable. So because there was no rhyme in Old English poems. पहली बात तो उसमें rhyme नहीं था. Instead, they used alliteration. You must be knowing कि alliterative verses, alliteration was very popular before Chaucer. So, rhyme नहीं था, alliteration था. And besides Beowulf, there are many other old English poems. अगर हम Beowulf को हटा दें तो उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी poems थी. There were many other poems also besides Beowulf. For example, I have told you about Widsith. Again, I would write here Widsith. Then it was Genesis A. Genesis A. Now, टिक करिए, फिर लिखिए आप Genesis A and Genesis B. Then don't forget the name Exodus. Exodus. Then there is a poem, The Wanderer. The Wanderer. Next, the Seafarer. Then Wife's Lament. Wife's Lament. Then Husband's Message. Husband's Message. Christ and Satan. Christ and Satan. Fine. Remember these poems. कभी न कभी काम आ जाएंगी. Daniel. 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 Then there was a poem Andreas. 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 Then there is a poem The Dream of the Rood. The Dream of the R-O-O-D, Rood. The Dream of the Rood. Then the Battle of Maldon. Yes, don't forget this. The Battle of Maldon. The Battle of Maldon. Apart from this, there are two important figures in Old English poetry. They are Cinewulf and Caedmon. I am rubbing this. Two important figures in Old English poetry. And those two figures are Cynewulf. Cinewulf. and Caedmon, Caedmon. Two important figures. Now, Cinewolf wrote religious poems and the four poems Juliana. Juliana, the fates of the apostles. The fate of the apostles, Christ and Helene. They are always credited with Cinewolf. And Caedmon is famous for his hymn, Hymn. He is famous for his hymn. Alfred, आपने इसका भी नाम सुना होगा, ALFRED, Alfred. Alfred enriched the Old English prose with his translations, especially Bate's ecclesiastical history. किसकी? Bate की, BEDE apostrophe, ecclesiastical history. Then there was a name Alfric, AELFRIC. Alfric, AELFRIC. It is another important prose writer during the Old English period, and he has been a very important, played his important role for grammar, for homilies and lives of the saints. His prose is natural, his prose is easy, and is very, very often, you can say, alliterative. Fine. So, my dear students, this entire, I can say, 22 minutes of extempore teaching covers whatever you require as a student for NET, TGT, PGT, UPSC or others. Because I have tried to accumulate everything in a gist which is required for you. Not much in detail to go, because this is that period where the student must know that yes, what is important. रघुवीर शर्मा जी, प्रणाम प्रणाम, कैसे हैं आप? हम बहुत अच्छे हैं, आप कैसे हैं? Fine. Now, I would like to go to the next topic in the history part, and I'm very much sure that the pure English students all over India who might be listening my lecture must be happy that yes, what is pure English batch and what is bilingual. Bilingual is a communication Hindi and English mix, but in pure English I don't use a single word of Hindi. अपने आप से कोई एक आध word निकल आए तो एक अलग बात है. Second point, second chapter to continue this session is Middle English Literature. Middle English Literature. Middle English Literature. Now, if I talk about Middle English Literature, immediately Geoffrey Chaucer, the name comes to your mind. Now, the poet Geoffrey Chaucer was born in 1340, approximate in London, and in 1357, he became a public servant to the Countess Elizabeth of Ulster, and continued in that capacity with the British court. Fine. Throughout his lifetime. And yes, the Canterbury Tales became his best known and the most acclaimed work. Shushmita Majumdar. Pranam Shushmita. Now, when he died in 1340, he was born in 1340, he died in 1400, and he was the first to be buried in the Westminster Abbey, और Westminster Abbey को ही कहते हैं Poets Corner. Chaucer's first major work was the Book of the Duchess. And yes, the Book of the Duchess was actually an elegy for his first wife, of his patron. And who was the patron? John of Gaunt. Other works of Chaucer which are to be studied and important are Parliament of Fowls, The Legend of Good Women, Troilus and Cressida, and yes, in 1387 he began his most famous and acclaimed work, which is known as the Canterbury Tales. And what is Canterbury Tales? It is actually a diverse group of people who recount stories to pass the time as they are going to a pilgrimage to the Becket Shrine of Canterbury. Now, if I talk about the Middle English literature, in short, it was about Godfrey Chaucer. When you study with me in my classes, a lot of details is taught because it is the YouTube channel. I have to teach a lot many things in crux, in summary wise. That is why. Sir, I am preparing for the upcoming GATE examination, 4th February. Actually aspiring for PhD. Sir, your session much informative. Shushmita, if you are preparing for GATE and you are aspiring for PhD, and if you are NET qualified, and even if you are not NET qualified, you have to just talk to me on the given number on the screen. Take the screenshot of that number, connect with us on the WhatsApp, take the guidance that how you will be able to qualify GATE or PhD, because for the GATE, all over India students are studying in the GATE batch. It is not important that you join the GATE batch or the PhD entrance batch or the NET batch, but guidance is important. Fine. So Godfrey Chaucer के बाद आता है students William Langland. I am teaching in short, my dear students, because the entire sessions of the entire course of different batches, they are taught in the class by downloading the application OSN Academy. Fine. And in yes, both the language, pure English batch also and the bilingual batch also. Fine. Now, William Langland, if I talk about, he was born in 1330 and also a contemporary of Chaucer, died in 1400. And it is presumed author of one of the greatest examples of the Middle English alliterative poetry. कुछ देर पहले भी मैंने आपको बताया था, alliterative poetry का ये बहुत बड़ा विद्वान था. Generally, his poem, which is very popular in alliterative version, is Piers the Plowman. Piers the Plowman. Fine. Study times, high study times. You want to join my classes? Very good. The phone number is given on the screen. See here. You have to just connect here and you have to write that I am study times. Moreover, I would like to know study times, that what is your name and you belong to which city. So, Piers the Plowman is a very popular poem written in the alliterative words, allegorical work, and this allegorical work, Piers the Plowman, has a very complex variety of religious themes. अगर कोई पूछे तो you can tell that yes, it has a variety of religious themes, and one of the major achievements of Piers the Plowman is that it translates the language. क्या करता है सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट? It translates the language. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट मैं बता रहा हूं. It translates the language and conceptions of the it translates the language and conceptions of the cloister into symbols, of the cloister into symbols, even images, oblique कर सकते हैं, and images that could be understood even by a common layman. Fine. अगर हम जनरल की बात करें, in general, the language of the poem is very simple, is very colloquial, but some of the author's imagery is even very powerful and very direct. Gate question paper, study time. आपका नाम है आकांक्षा from Lucknow. Akanksha, it is actually a thing of happiness that OSN Academy is in Lucknow, Mahanagar. And if you are not knowing about OSN Academy, because the entire Lucknow, the entire UP has been coming and studying and making their career. Most of the university students of Lucknow, who are NET JRF and assistant professors, they are from OSN. So it is a big opportunity that even Akanksha, you can meet me. The number is given on the screen. You can connect with me, take all the guidance, even meet me and do as you wish. Purushottam, guide me upcoming NET exam. Purushottam, you can also connect on the WhatsApp number and take the guidance for the new batches. Can you provide me some of the free book samples? Yes, Akanksha, you can have all from the WhatsApp number given on the screen. Fine, but some of the author's imagery is very powerful and even direct. Now, after connecting this thing, and I'm very much sure that this lecture would be making you understand that what is content-rich class, how the concepts sir teaches in the classes to all over India students, or I would be really happy to know that जितने बच्चे भी इस समय live देख रहे हैं, can you suggest, can you tell that yes sir, I am liking your class, and have you subscribed the channel, have you liked the classes today? Just give me a small thumbs up that yes sir, the classes are good, because the new batch is going to start in the live batch, the pure English and the bilingual. Now, the next topic which comes here in chronological development of my sequence is periods in the development of drama. Periods in the development of drama. Very important. Amar Singh, good afternoon. Periods in the development of drama. अगर हम यूरोप की बात करें, in Europe as in Greece, in Europe as in Greece, in Europe, जैसा कि ग्रीस में था, as in Greece, the drama had a distinctly religious origin. The drama had distinctly, very क्लियर समझ में आ रहा होगा आपको, had a distinctly religious origin. कैसा origin था? धार्मिक टाइप का, a religious origin. And the first characters, thank you Sushmita that you like the classes, and I would also suggest you to share the link, और जो बच्चे इस शेयर को लिंक को शेयर करें, just tell us that yes sir, I've shared the link. So in Europe as in Greece, the drama had distinctly a religious origin. The first characters were drawn from the New Testament. New Testament. The first characters were drawn from the New Testament, and the object of the first plays was to make the church service more impressive, or to emphasize the moral lessons by showing the regard of the good and the punishment of the evildoer. बाद में क्या हुआ? In the latter days of the Roman Empire, the church found the stage possessed by the frightful plays, जिन्होंने morals को debase कर दिया, which debased, lower down the morals of the people already fallen too low. So what happened? Reform seemed impossible. Reform seemed impossible, and the corrupt drama was driven from the stage, and the plays of every kind were forbidden. But mankind loves a spectacle. हमें देखना पसंद होता है. And soon the church itself provided a substitute for the forbidden plays in the famous mystery and miracle plays. So अगर कोई आपसे पूछे कि how these mystery and miracle plays came, so remember what I taught you. This is called conceptual training. This is called authentic training. This is called how my students qualify NET or IAS or even the top examinations of literature, because they are taught in the way I am teaching you here at the YouTube channel. Have you ever been taught, my dear students, in this conceptualized way? Stepwise, that कहाँ से mystery plays आया, कैसे miracle plays आया, कैसे कैसे atmosphere बना. I am Shraddha Ghorgade. Welcome Shraddha to the OSN Academy channel. Subscribe the channel and take the screenshot of the WhatsApp number. In case of any guidance, you may connect with us, Shraddha. Now, after telling you about the mystery plays, how it came, the miracle plays, I would also tell you the miracle and mystery plays in detail. Miracle and mystery plays. In France की अगर हम बात करें, in France, Sushma, I am from Karnataka, nice class. Okay, welcome Sushma to our channel, OSN Academy. And if I talk about Karnataka, it will be a happy moment for all of you Karnataka students to know that more than a dozen of students have joined my pure English batch from Karnataka in the last 1 week. So because you are from Karnataka, I would just like to make you understand that in case you are an upcoming NET aspirant to excel, it is a great moment to join the live classes or the recorded classes from Karnataka to our channel OSN Academy by downloading it. I will request my technical team to just give our new students the link of the app. Otherwise, it is all given in the Play Store. And you can even take our link from the WhatsApp number given on the screen. I am from Kolhapur, Maharashtra. Welcome Shraddha from Kolhapur, and Maharashtra is buzzing with energy because they are preparing the Maharashtra set under my guidance. The special Maharashtra set classes are going on in my application, and even the NET classes and the set classes. The students of Maharashtra, even from Kolhapur, my students are preparing in both the languages, that is pure English and bilingual also. So if I talk about the miracle and the mystery plays, अगर हम फ्रांस की बात करें, in France, the name miracle was given to any play representing the lives of the saints. Again, I am repeating that if I talk about France, the name miracle, this name miracle, was given to the play or any play which is representing the lives of the saints. Lives of the saints. While the mystery represented the scenes from the life of Christ. Scenes from the life of Christ, or stories from the Old Testament. Fine. And those are associated with the coming of Messiah. If I talk about England, this distinction was almost unknown. The name miracle was used indiscriminately for all the plays having their origin in the Bible or in the lives of the saints, and the name mystery to distinguish a certain class of plays which was not used until long after the religious drama had passed away. And yes, the earliest miracle of which we have any record in England is Ludus de Sancta. Ludus de Sancta. The earliest miracle of which we have any record in England is the Ludus de Sancta. Katharina, 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 which was performed in Dunstable about the year 1110. It is not known that who wrote the original play of Saint Catherine, but our first version was prepared by Godfrey of Saint Albans, who was a French school teacher of Dunstable. Whether or not the play was given in English is not known, but it was customary in the earliest plays of for the chief actors to speak either in Latin or French, or to show their importance, while minor and the comic parts of the same play were given in English. और 4 centuries तक, for 4 centuries after this first recorded play, the miracles increased steadily in numbers and popularity in England. They were given first very simply and impressively in the churches. Then as the actors increased in numbers and the plays in liveliness, they overflowed to the churchyards. But when fun and frolic and humor and hilarity began to predominate even in the most sacred representations, these scandalized priests forbade the plays altogether on church grounds, and by the year 1300 the miracles were out of that churchmen, or you can say were out of their ecclesiastical hands and adopted eagerly by the town guilds. In the following 2 centuries, we find the church preaching against the abuse of the religious drama which it had introduced itself. So miracles had now taken a strong hold upon the English people, and they continued to be immensely popular. You can say in the 16th century, they were replaced by the Elizabethan drama. And the early miracle plays of England were divided into 2 classes. The first, given at Christmas, included all plays connected with the birth of Christ. The second, at Easter, included the plays relating to the death and the triumph. And by the beginning of the 14th century, all these plays were in various localities, united in the single cycles, beginning with the creation and ending with the final judgment. And the complete cycle was presented every spring, beginning on, आपको पता होगा, beginning on Corpus Christi Day. And the presentation of so many plays meant a continuous outdoor festival of a week or more, and this day was looked forward to as the happiest of the entire year. So the 4 cycles are the Chester and the York plays, so called from the towns in which they were given, जैसे Townley or Wakefield plays, named for the Townley family, which for a long time owned the manuscript, and the Coventry plays, which on the doubtful evidence have been associated with the Grey Friars of Coventry. अब आपको एक बात बताऊं, The Chester cycle has 25 plays. The Wakefield cycle has 30 plays. The Coventry has 42 plays. And the York cycle has 48. It is actually impossible to fix either the date or the authorship of any of these plays, and we only know certainly that they were in great favor from the 12th to the 16th century. And the York plays are generally considered to be the best, but those of Wakefield show more humor, more variety, and even better workmanship and craftsmanship. And the former cycle especially shows a certain unity resulting from its aim to represent the whole of man's life from birth to death. And the same thing is noticeable in Cursor Mundi, which with the York and the Wakefield cycles belong to the 14th century, my dear students. So, sir, I'm totally blind, so please tell your number. Oh, Shraddha. Oh, Shraddha, I'm sorry to hear this. So, Shraddha, if you are listening my voice, my number is, please note down, Shraddha, because you cannot see my number. Just note down 99350 58417. Shraddha, I am again repeating my number 99350 58417. So if you have written my number, just confirm here that yes, sir, I have noted down your number. Fine. So बच्चों, आपको ये सेशन कैसा लग रहा है? अब देखिए, अब आ गया आपका सामने द इंटरल्यूड्स. Now, to understand interlude, just listen to my this part properly. That it is impossible to draw any accurate line of distinction between the moralities and the interludes. बहुत मुश्किल है कोई लाइन को ड्रॉ करना. And how to distinguish between the moralities and interlude. In general, we may think of the latter means interlude, as dramatic scenes, sometimes given by themselves, usually with music and singing, where at the banquets and at the entertainments, where a little fun was wanted, and again slipped into a miracle play to enliven the audience with a solemn scene. So, Heywood's, you must have heard the name of Heywood. Heywood's interludes were written between 1520 and 1540. His famous interlude known as the Four Ps. The Four Ps, a contest of wit. What is this Four Ps? It is a contest of wit between a pardoner, a palmer, palmer, a peddler, and apothecary. It was a contest of wit. And the characters here strongly suggest those of Chaucer. And another interesting interlude is called The Play of the Weather. How many of you know this? The Play of Weather. How many of you know this interlude? फटाफट बताएं कि कितने बच्चे इसको जानते हैं. द प्ले ऑफ द वेदर. यहाँ पे करें. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो दिस नेम, द प्ले ऑफ द वेदर? इन दिस, Jupiter and the gods, they assemble to listen to the complaints about the weather and to reform abuses. Naturally, everybody wants his own kind of weather. And the climax is reached by a boy who announces that the boy's pleasure consists in two things: catching birds and throwing snowballs, and begs for the weather to be such that he can always do both. कि हमेशा वो स्नोबॉल भी फेंक पाए और चिड़ियों को भी पकड़ पाए. So Jupiter decides that he will do just as he pleases about the weather, and everybody goes home very satisfied. So all these early plays were written for the most part in a mingling of prose, and the wretched doggerel, and add nothing to our literature as such. And their great work was to train the actors, to keep alive the dramatic spirit, and to prepare the way for the true drama to come. So my dear students, it was a great session, an extempore session, और पढ़ाते पढ़ाते शायद मैं अब थोड़ा थक भी गया हूँ. And I hope that this new session, this new environment of the coming 2024 examination, I would request my technical team to show them the thumbnails of all the batches of the entire country which are running, so that even if the student of Maharashtra set, Uttarakhand set, Kerala set, Gujarat set, MP set, or UPSC, TGT, PGT, DSSB, LT, UGC NET, bilingual, pure English, the study material, the test series, and yes, it is the world of literature. So my dear students, I hope that you, by being a part of OSN classes or even the study materials, may rise high to elevate your excellence in the times to come. Thank you so much. Last में क्या मैसेज है? सर यूपीएससी इंग्लिश ऑप्शनल पर 300 मार्क्स पॉसिबल है. आपके यूपीएससी स्टूडेंट्स कितने मार्क्स लाते हैं? रैंडम शॉर्ट्स. बेटा आपका नाम क्या है? व्हाट इज़ योर नेम एंड व्हाट इज़ योर टारगेट ईयर? आपका कौन सा टारगेट ईयर है और आपका नाम क्या है और आप किस शहर से बिलोंग करते हैं? क्योंकि हमारे पास देखिए 2024 का बैच भी है और 2025 का बैच भी है. आपका नाम है नितिन. तो नितिन, आपने कभी हमसे बात किया? डिड यू एवर टॉक टू मी टेलीफोनिकली? इफ यू हैव नॉट स्पोकन टू मी, दिल्ली से मैं आपको बताऊं नितिन, दिल्ली से मोर देन 50 स्टूडेंट्स आर स्टडिंग इन द 2024 एंड द न्यू 2025 बैच. सो 300 की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी बच्चों आपको. हमारे बच्चों ने 260, 265, 270, 280 में सिलेक्शन पाया है. So 270, 275, 280 marks is very good marks to compete IAS cadre. Fine. अगर आप नितिन 2025 के हैं, so 2025 का बैच भी चल रहा है. The study material is also there. The students are also doing the test series and answer writing. And yes, if you feel that you have to become an excellent writer, an excellent student in the UPSC mains, then you may connect with us. The number is given on the screen, Nitin. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for being with us here today in this nice session. And yes, I believe that those of my students who are listening me here will be listening forever, will always believe in the best content, the best classes, and the classes which can make your portfolio, which can make your subconscious nurtured with the best academic system so that you can compete with your competition. Thank you. Have a great day.